What's going on, everybody? I'm Screech. This is Retro Card Collector, and on today's episode, we're going to take a look at all the games that I was able to pick up at Really Rad Weekend in Florida. Alright, well, Really Rad Weekend was a lot of fun, and I came home with a backpack full of games. Sadly, I had a little issues getting checked into my flights for coming home, so that cut off like the last almost full 2 hours. I was on the phone with the airlines, and I wasn't able to be in the convention when all the really good deals were going on.
I shouldn't be surprised.
So I missed out on a little bit, but probably for the best, because I don't think I had much room in my backpack for anything else. Like, I had to wear my headphones around my neck getting on the plane and going through security and stuff because I didn't have room to put them in my backpack. Now, it was a really cool event. There was tons of game vendors there. That was kind of the first real like retro gaming convention I'd been to. I've been to PAX way back when it was like just PAX and had experienced that. And I've been to lots of conventions. I used to cosplay, been to fan expos up here and stuff like that. They're very different than what I saw down there at a real game convention, like a real retro game convention is what this was. We might as well kick it off with the Super Nintendo games because it's the newest thing I'm collecting. First one I picked up, I got this one from Scott Squatch himself. This is Lagoon. Now, this one is like an RPG, and I'm really excited to dig into this one a little bit more. I've tested these games. They're all awesome. I clean every one of my games and then throw them in the machine and got to play them for a little bit. This one's really cool. Lagoon is one I picked up. I also got Tiny Toons Adventures Buster Busts Loose. This one looks really cool. I've heard really good things about this one, so I'm excited to check this one a little bit more. I also got ActRaiser. ActRaiser is one I had it as a kid, and I had no idea what I was doing when I was a kid playing it. So this one I'm really excited to open up again and get really into it because I've heard really good things about it, and I don't have the greatest memories of it because I had no idea what I was doing as a kid playing this one. I just fiddled around with it. So I'm excited to look up how to play it and then really get into it. Now, I love Bomberman games. They are so much fun to me because it's just like mindless messing around, I think. So I ended up picking up Super Bomberman number 2. I was going to get number 1, but I needed to keep it at a certain price point. You'll see. I promise you'll see. So I picked up Bomberman 2, Super Bomberman 2, and these are great games. I'm excited to play this one with the boys and get into this one. I'm sure some of them have never played the Bomberman series before. It's so much fun. I mean, it's Bomberman. Last one I got is another RPG that I've played a little bit of since I picked it up, and this one's different. This one's really different. Secret of Evermore. This game, I always wanted it. Like, that cover art I always thought was really cool looking. So this was a game I always wanted, and I finally have it in my collection. And another Squaresoft game. I love me a good Squaresoft RPG from the Super Nintendo. So that's what I got for Super Nintendo games at Really Rad Weekend. And now let's dig into the random things I got. I got these obviously with purpose. Retro Wolf 88 had manuals. I've never bumped in, because up here I haven't seen that. I've never bumped into a booth that just had a stack of manuals. So right when I saw that, my eyes lit up and I was excited. I was so glad he had them. I got Adventure Island 2, the manual for Adventure Island 2. This one, just to put it with the game, right? I have such fond memories of Adventure Island 2. I'm so excited to play. Look at this. Like, look at this awesome artwork. Isn't that like, oh, I love this guy down here. When he's riding that was my favorite guy of the group. Of all the dinosaurs you got to play as, that was my favorite one. Look at that. Isn't that great? I also got Golf, which is actually kind of a pricey manual. And this one's in really good condition. I am super excited to play more golf because I'm not good at golf at all. Watch some of my game collection videos and I'll tell you a story in one of those about me taking a hubcap off a golf cart. So I got Golf, the manual for Golf at Really Rad Weekend. Super excited for that. And then this is a game that I picked up there. So when I saw the manual, I was like, well, I have to get it. So The Battle for Olympus. Well, let's see if we can get some. There we go. The Battle for Olympus. I picked up this game there too. And this is a really cool game, so I wanted to make sure I had the manual to go with it. So those are the other little goodies I kind of picked up there. I got to meet so many awesome people. It was such a fun convention. So speaking of awesome people that I ran into down there, Keith, the Pickin' Preacher, I'd been talking to him. We'd been communicating before because he shouted my channel out in one of his videos, one of his lives. Like I was like a month old as a channel. And he'd found my videos. He told me that he liked my videos. We'd been in communication. So we were in communication leading up to the event. And I knew he was coming. We were both excited to meet each other. So before I left here, I'd made a couple quick stops. I kind of set up so I could get some Sega Saturn games because he's got his Sega Saturn saga on the go where he's trying to collect all the Sega Saturn games. So I wanted to come down there and give him some games, show him how much it meant to me that he was such a great guy and gave me that confidence boost when my channel was just starting out. So I ran into him in the hallway. He was hanging out with Riff with Pixel Game Squad. And right away, I dropped these 2 Sega Saturn games in front of him. And he was super excited. Now he, in return, gave me some Nintendo games because I hadn't even announced that the Super Nintendo collection was a thing I was going for. So what he hooked me up with is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1. Now I do have this, but Rabbit, now you might have seen on my channel if you watch some of my other videos, I just finished giving him the Turtles 2 the arcade and Turtles 3 the Manhattan Project. So I'm going to give this one to him. This is going to go to Rabbit so he can have the whole Turtles collection because I'm not sure if he does. If he does have it, I know somewhere else it can go for sure. Now the next one he gave me was one that I needed and I've been wanting to pick up. I just haven't stumbled upon it for the right price. So it's going to be Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, actual Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. If you don't know anything about Mike Tyson and what was going on with him, it's interesting to look up that stuff and find out what was going on and why they went from being Mike Tyson's Punch-Out with Mike Tyson at the end to Punch-Out with Mr. Dream at the end. But this one's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. This is the one I needed in my collection and I'm super excited to have, especially because it came from such a good friend. The last one he gave me is another one I didn't have. So he hooked me up, in my opinion. I've seen him, he's put up some videos, and he's out there he's chirping, saying, oh, RetroCart gave me these games for free. You gave me games in return. Don't forget that. And you boosted my channel at a time that I needed a boost because I was fresh and new. So everything, I appreciate it so much. Trust me, we are square on this stuff. The last one he gave me is Flying Warriors. This one's super cool. You're like, I would say Power Ranger E. I don't know how to VR Trooper E maybe. I'm not really sure. You can change into these warriors and fight. There's a weird story to it. I'm gonna dig into this one a little bit more. But he also gave me Flying Warriors, another one I needed on my list. So those are the games I got from Keith Pickin' Preacher, and I am so thankful that he gave me those. I'm excited for that Ninja Turtles to go somewhere where someone else can experience the frustration that is the dam level. So while I was over at Retro World of 88's booth, I did end up picking up a game from him as well. And it's one that's actually going to give me a fun little video to do. So I already had 1943 and I needed 1942 to complete that set, that series, right? So I ended up finding that there. 1942 came from Retro Wolf 88, and I'm excited to make a Retro Kart Rescue video out of this because it's got the stickers all over it. And it's got this one on the, I hate these ones when they put them on the back here. Oh man, that one, that's going to be a B to get off of there. And that completes that set. So now I have both 1942 and 1943. And that's a set that I was really excited to finish up because those games are awesome. So thank you so much, Matt with Retro Wolf, for having this one at your booth for me to buy from you. So if you haven't watched my video about Really Rad Weekend, check it out after this, because I ended up running into Riff and Ricky with Pixel Game Squad. And while I was having a bit of a conversation with Riff, I'd mentioned that I had brought Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom with me. and I was going to try to get it to Gabo. Now, they think Gabo had it already, but Retro Rick thinks he needed it. So he picked that one up from me, and in exchange, we found a booth that had Mega Man 5. So Retro Rick got me Mega Man 5 in exchange for Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom, and I was really excited to see that one go to someone that needed it. That one I'd got from a coworker in a bundle, and I actually kept the one that I got from him for my personal collection, because I had purchased one like off eBay months ago because that was one I really wanted. So I kept the one that Darren had given me, and then the one that I'd bought off eBay, which was a really clean copy, went to Retro Rick. So that's awesome that that kind of panned out that way. And I ended up getting Mega Man 5. Not only did I get Mega Man 5, but while I was there, I also stumbled across Mega Man 6. So Mega Man 5 came from Retro Rick, and then Mega Man 6 that I found completes the Mega Man collection. So I have that whole series now. That's one that I honestly never really thought I would have all the Mega Mans for some reason. And I'm really, really excited. So thank you so much, Rick, for getting me this one. All right, we're kind of getting into the randoms that I bought here. So we're going to cruise through these ones. I'll try to show a little bit of game footage, but we're going to rip through these ones. So one vendor on day 2 had a bunch of games for $5. He had a bunch of games for $3 that I really wish I would have got a hold of again. Flight issues. But I picked up a bunch of $5 ones from him at the time, and those ones are going to be Dragon Power, Magmax, Millen's Secret Castle. I think that's how Millen is pronounced. I don't know. Millen's Secret Castle is what I'm calling it. Highlight, which is one I didn't even know how to pronounce until Keith told me how to do it. Target Renegade, which you know I love the Renegade series, so it's awesome to pick this one up. I also got Cycross, which is like a side scroller that this looks super cool. And while I yet to have Rob the Robot, I did pick up Gyromite just for when that day comes. I guess I could always play with the second controller. Now, moving on out of those $5 games, these are the ones that I picked up on day 1 and day 2 that I went with purpose to pick up. So they're going to be Winter Games. I got Winter Games. Now, this one, there's going to be a video on, so prepare yourself for a Winter Games video. I swear I live somewhere cool. I got Defender of the Crown, and this one's got cool artwork on it here. I haven't really played it, but I'm excited to check it out a little bit further. I also got Conquest of the Crystal Palace. I also got Destiny of an Emperor. Now, this one is like an RPG that I'm really excited to dig into a little bit more. This has got some really cool saves on it already. I also got the Guardian Legend. And Codename Viper. Here's the Battle of Olympus that I picked the manual up for as well. I also got Rescue, the Embassy Mission. This is a cool game. And one last RPG, kind of action RPG. I think it's like an action RPG. This is Zelda clone. I got Willow. So those are all the games I picked up at Really Rad Weekend. Again, it was a great time. I got to meet some really cool people. And I came home with all these games, like a backpack full of Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. Now, I have to kind of pick and choose the conventions that I'm going to go to. So the next one planned is SoCal Gaming Expo in California. That was going to be coming up in June. And after that, I want to do something on that kind of eastern half of the States. So it's going to be a fall convention at some point. I'm just not sure which one. So if you have a good suggestion, maybe I'll go to Rick's whenever he announces what's going on in dates. Hey, Rick, if you're watching this, make it in the fall, buddy. I'll come down. I promise. I'll be there. If not, maybe Arkansas Pickers. I've never been to Arkansas. They're both in Arkansas, so Arkansas sounds fun, right?
So I am confusion. Why is this one Kansas, But this one is not Arkansas. America, explain. Explain. What do you mean in Arkansas? What?
If not, maybe back to Florida for Really Rad Weekend again, or something else down there. I know there's some other conventions in Florida in the fall. Or maybe I could do Game Central Station next year. That would be cool to do. I wanted to think about doing it this year, but it just wasn't in the budget, so that one didn't work out. But until next time, these are all the games that I picked up at Really Rad Weekend. I came home with a lot of games. It really buffed my collection. And I got some Super Nintendo games and some manuals. I'd never seen manuals like that before. That was awesome.